you use that blueprint based on the information that you got from all of those modalities to help guide somebody through whatever challenge they're having or whatever issue that they want to work on. You just use it to get a picture of the person. So it's personalized to the person. So they
Yeah.
are feeling like, okay, yeah, this is actually me. And now we're going to work on where I want to get to. This is the Back to Work podcast for stay-at-home moms who are thinking about going back to work but terrified about what that means. Maybe you're facing resume gaps or a few outdated skills, not to mention juggling kids, life, and, well, everything. We get it. We've been there and we've got you. We know this isn't just about getting work. It's about finding a job that fits you and your life. Every week, you'll hear tips, advice, and stories, all designed to help you go back to work. Hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode. Welcome to Back to Work, the podcast for stay-at-home moms who are going back to work but aren't quite sure where to start. So we always say start here. Today, we are going to do something a little bit different. So Angie is my co-host for this podcast, but Angie has her own thing going on, her own business happening. And so we wanted to kind of talk about that. I think that she's going to explain what she does, but I think that it translates really nicely into what we talk about at Back to Work in terms of making decisions and figuring yourself out and getting your confidence. Compliments, that's the word I'm looking for. It complements what we do very nicely. So we're going to talk about, what Angie uses, how she got into it, how it helps create a transformation. And she's going to explain the things that she uses as well. So I'll start with, what do you use in your business to help? And then we'll get into how you get into it. But what do you use in your business to help create a transformation?
So my business is I'm a life coach. That's how Carrie and I met, in case you didn't know that.
Yep,
Carrie and
that's
I
true.
met during our first coach certification program. And then this last year, I added an intuitive coach certification. And that's where I refined the tools that I use. I also added in a tarot reader certification. And these things help me help my clients see things either in themselves or in their circumstances and the way they're thinking that they may not have been aware of. And it helps them to get a little bit deeper. And the first key to change and transformation is being aware of what your thought process is. You don't even
Mm-hmm.
have to, I mean, this is where coaching differs from therapy, because you don't have to understand why you think that way. That would be something that you would look at with a therapist, but you can understand that you are thinking this way and then how you want to think differently as you look toward the future. So some of the tools that I use are tarot cards, and oracle cards was the tool that I learned more about in this last certification I took. And what's beautiful about oracle cards is they're even more metaphorical, if you will. They allow you to look at an image. And in the decks that I've used, the guidebooks are so beautifully written that they ask you to look deeper at yourself. They often have guiding questions in there. Tarot decks do the same thing. Card work really is something that I've practiced for the last couple years. And what it has helped me discover is that I can go deeper with a concept than if I was just journaling about it or talking with a friend myself. In fact, it's kind of like talking with a friend, because now I've incorporated Chat GPT into my practice. That's really helpful, because then I can take that information and apply it to the struggle or the challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
if that's in my own personal practice, or if that's in the practice or the session that I'm having with a client, Carrie has had the privilege. She was one of my clients for that last certification, so she
Yeah.
got to see how an oracle card can really help you dig a little bit deeper into understanding what might be influencing you. And then some of the other tools I use, your astrological birth chart. Then there's the ascendant sign. Then there's another concept called the progressed moon. So
Mhm.
I've incorporated those tools into my coaching with folks, and it has helped clients to, I think, understand their own patterns a little bit better. And in terms of ongoing tools that would continue to help you coach yourself, the tarot practice that I do with journaling is really a huge opportunity
Mhm.
for growth. So those are those things that I bring to a coaching session. Do you wanna talk a little bit about coaching, and then I'll talk about the latest thing that I'm working on, which is my circle?
Yeah, I just want to recap what you said. So you use tarot and oracle cards, you use astrology
Mhm,
and numerology. You talked about the progressed moon in
mhm.
astrology and then numerology. And so you use all of those elements to build a picture of the person.
Yeah,
So
I
you
call it a
kind of
blueprint.
know, yeah, a blueprint of the
Yeah,
person. And so you use that blueprint based on the information that you got from all of those modalities to help guide somebody through whatever challenge they're having or whatever issue that they want to work on. You just kind of use it to get a picture of the person. So it's personalized to the person. So they
yeah,
are feeling like, okay, yeah, this is actually me. And now we're going to work on where I want to get to.
right, and the other thing that as a coach, I have resources that help me understand ways to direct a client based on those influences. I never met a personality assessment that I didn't wanna take.
That's true, people. I can attest to that.
But the power of them, for me anyway, is that I can then find so much evidence about how it works in my life and how it works more for me than works against me.
Right.
And then
Hmm.
my offer um, is called the Alignment Journey. Coaching, my 6 session coaching package is called the Alignment Journey because it's over those 6 sessions that you learn how you're thinking, what really is going on there, and then what you're creating and what you would rather create so that by the time we're getting to those last couple sessions, you have more tools and deeper understanding for how you are going to be able to meet those challenges. Now,
Yeah.
the answer isn't always, quit my job. The answer could be, I can
Right.
find a way to be in this job
Yeah.
and be happy or be
Yeah.
satisfied or be content. But then also understanding, as in has been the case in other clients, that quitting the job is exactly what you need to do because that's in alignment with where you need to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to sort of put it in the perspective of maybe the listeners for this podcast who are thinking about going back to work, the way that you described it, the way that I understand it, is that you are basically helping them understand what makes them tick,
Yeah.
what they like, what they don't like, or not even like and don't like, but what is aligned for them and what is not aligned for them. So
Yeah, it's about the way
when
they
you,
think about a
yeah.
particular the situation that we're coaching on.
So if you're thinking about somebody who's getting a job or looking for a job, you would think about what are the elements that mean the most to me? What are the elements that are most aligned to me? So for example, if you're aligned with service and helping people, then you want to think about that when you're looking for a job. And one of my things is environment is very important to me. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the office needs to look like a Pinterest or Instagram for the office, but it's the environment. Do I feel comfortable in that environment? When I walk in, do I feel, yes, this is good? Or am I completely repelled right away? And those are the things that you need to pay attention to. And Angie kind of drills down to why it is that you might feel that way based on what you're learning from tarot and oracle and astrology and numerology. You're kind of
Mhm.
digging down into why it is that
And
somebody might be drawn to certain things versus others.
it's, The thing that I hadn't spoke about yet was, like, values, and for
Mm,
me, the word align was very much about living a life that reflects my values, and if my value is authenticity, the more I learn about who I am as a person and what I need as I create this business and as I figure out what my life looks like now in this season of my life, then I am going to be happier. I'm just gonna be able to live a more fulfilling life because I know what I need in my environment. I know the things I need to work on as well as the things that I can full out do more of because they are so aligned, and it just makes me happier to do those kinds of things. So, when
mhm,
I'm thinking about somebody that's going back to work, we talked about making sure that you understand what you're looking for in that job and in that role in that company because your values matter. And
right.
if it's against your values, for example, one that comes to me is the family first value, especially when you're going back to work and you may still have school age children or even babies and toddlers and preschoolers. And if the company that you're going to doesn't share that family first value, then that's probably not the company for you. For me, like if I knew then what I know now in terms of tools that would help me to explore that deeper, I pull out a couple tarot cards and say, okay, what is this? Like, what are some things that I could be looking into at? What do I need to know? And I trust that my intuition and the energies in the universe conspire to help me find the answer that I need to hear.
Yeah. They conspire for you and not
Yes,
against you.
and I'm sorry, it might sound a little woo, cause what I say is I'm a little bit of woo, but mostly wow, because you can't make it up. The
Yeah,
synchronicities are incredible
yeah.
because it's like one after another. When that happens after, doing this daily tarot reading pull for 2 years now, going on 2
Mhm,
years, it's incredible to me how much calmer I am. Carrie will attest to the challenges that I experienced leaving my workplace after 31 years and the circumstances surrounding that, and how working with my cards, my journaling practice, and my oracle cards as well, my tarot cards, really helped me to get through that with grace.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no, it did. It's like it helps you focus on the pieces that matter instead of having your mind just completely swirl about the stuff that is the drama.
Right. And there was plenty of drama
There was
to be.
plenty of drama. Yes. Yes, there was.
Yeah. You wanna
Um,
buy me coffee? I can talk to you about it sometime.
yeah. So we didn't really, and maybe we should have done this in the beginning, but for anybody that listens to this podcast, we don't really subscribe to the rules. So we're doing it now.
Yeah,
Why did you get into all of this? I mean, and I kind of know the progression, but so talk about
yeah.
why you were drawn to this type of stuff and how you landed on all three together to help women get a transformation.
So I think that okay, in y'all know what the world was like in early 2021. We had come off of COVID closing schools. That Thanksgiving of that year, I just heard a voice in my head. I was sitting in my office. I heard a voice in my head telling me it was time. And I
Oh.
trusted that voice and got into the certification program that Carrie and I both did. And the goal was that when I retired, I would do coaching because I was going to be fully vested in the system at before I could draw Social Security. So I thought, that's good. But then the numerous different things that I tried, like I was thought I could have a side hustle. I've learned I'm not a person who can side hustle. It's
Mm.
probably now in hindsight, it's because I have high standards and I wasn't able to meet the high standards that I had for myself and still work. And I couldn't do both. I
I
said,
just want to
Carrie,
stop you there for a second because
sorry, I'm
I
going off
remember
on.
that, right? And you felt really bad about that. You would
I
think
did.
something's wrong with me. Why can't I do
Yep.
this? Other people can do this. So that speaks to the alignment that you were talking about and
Right.
understanding yourself in a way that now you're like, well, yeah, that makes perfect sense that I did that.
Right.
that I wasn't able to do it the way I thought I was going to be able to do it because I've learned so much about myself through these things that now I understand that that was never going to work. So instead of
Right.
beating yourself up about it constantly, you've accepted yourself and you realize, yeah, I can't do it that way. And
And
that's
I mean,
okay.
absolutely. And when it came time for me to consider my whether or not I was gonna retire in 2025. I remember saying to my supervisor, who I loved to pieces, I said to her, I said, "I need to stop doing this job while I still love it, because I feel like I am not being effective. I am not doing it the way that I wanted to."
Mhm.
And understanding that about myself was huge. And then how tarot and oracle and those things came as opportunities, as like, it all seemed to
Yeah.
like, the universe responds, like, this is something that that mystical nature, like, I believe that the universe I believe a couple things. I believe we're all connected on a like a metaphysical level, on heartstring level, and that the other thing I believe is that the universe wants the best for you. And when
Mhm.
you are open to that and you listen to that and you call that in, the universe will tell you
Mhm.
when it's right or off for you. Hedged my bets and went for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I would
and
just
then
say for people listening too, the word universe, I like using that word. I know you like using that word, but insert any word you want. It doesn't, right?
universe,
Whatever.
spirit,
Yeah.
God, higher energy, whatever works for
Yeah.
you, but believe the universe is good and fundamentally good and kind and wants us all to be following our own path. And Carrie and I started podcasting together, was sort of like my way to keep myself connected to this entrepreneurial endeavor as she has gone in on and had this iteration of her work as the Back to Work podcast
Mm.
from Self Care for Moms.
Yep. Yeah, and Angie helped me understand sort of all of my different iterations of coaching, and the ones that I have started and dropped are not necessarily, they're not failures, they're all building blocks of where I am right now. Because that's something that I struggled with is, well, I did this and it didn't go the way I wanted it to, so I interpreted that as a failure. And it's not about that. It's about building the pieces and putting them together. And they might not come together and click together until you've done that many, many times. And so
Right.
that's one of the things that working with Angie's helped me see that and believe it, because there's a difference
Right.
between knowing it and feeling it. So why did you talked a little bit about how you went to the coaching certification, and you couldn't really have a side hustle, but what drew you specifically to tarot and oracle, numerology, astrology, all
Oh,
that intuitive coaching, like, because you had your certification in life coaching, same as
right.
I did.
Yeah.
And then you shifted gradually to the intuitive life coaching and the
Yeah.
tarot and certification and all that. What made you do that?
So I think there was a few things that were missing for me after completing the certification for my life coach in my life coach program. And one of those was a structure that I could lean on. Just felt like I needed something a little bit more. And that's when I followed this woman on YouTube, and she pulls tarot cards, and she has studied the tarot, and she suggested this website to go and learn more. And the day that I did that, they were advertising a 5-day challenge.
Okay.
And the 5-day challenge was their marketing technique for inviting people into their certification program. And I just want to do this because it's fun. It is so fun, and part of the
Yeah.
reason it's fun is because it's wow. It's the
Yeah.
wow piece. So then the 3rd certification, the intuitive coaching certification, was more of my a friend of mine who was also was in the tarot certification program with me. It's like, "Let's do this." And,
Yeah.
learning together is so much more fun
Yes.
than individually, and I was like, "Yeah." this looks good.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about oracle cards. So it all seems to kind of be feeding this little element in me that believes that the universe has messages for us and we just need to be open to listening to them.
I think that's a good way to put it, and I think that's what doing that work does, is it just allows you to be more open to see the things that kind of like you talked about the synchronicities. You're
Yeah.
not gonna see the synchronicities if you're not open to seeing them. So, it just allows you to be more open to see, "Okay, I see how that works, and that was kinda weird that I said this, and now this is happening, and where did that
Yeah.
come from?" So, it's
Right.
just and it just helps you put it all together, in a way that you can, make the life that you wanna make, create the life that you wanna create. That's how I look at it.
And that life that you want to create, when you're there, you know it because you are aligned.
Right? Yep.
I see it as if your body was a line, the midline of your body, and you have different parts, your heart is here and your belly is over here. You just kind of push those all together so they are in a straight line. Have you ever played Jenga? It's like when you
Yeah.
get the Jenga tower all lined up before
Yep.
you, and then, and you go to pull the Jenga, one of the bricks out, one of the
Yep.
blocks
Yep.
out, rather, then
Yep.
you want to go back in and even it all up again
Yeah.
because that alignment makes it sturdy. This is a good metaphor, if I do
Yeah.
say so
Write
myself.
this down, Angie.
I know, that Jenga tower, you fall, you get off, and then the next thing you know, your life seems to tip over and all the pieces are all
Yeah.
scattered about, and then you work to put them all back together in a way that feels true to who you are.
So what I'm hearing is Jenga is like your worst nightmare because it's all about making it out of alignment so it collapses.
How do you win Jenga? Oh, wait, no,
You
you don't. It's a lose, like,
it's
you
well, it's
win
the
because
last
other
one
people.
standing.
Right,
The
right,
last
because
one
other people
standing.
lose. That's a terrible metaphor for life.
Yeah.
You win because other people lose.
Yeah, that is
Would
terrible.
not be what I'd want to promote, but if it's in terms of your own personal development, when you
Mhm.
lose those pieces of yourself that are no longer serving you, that are in alignment with who you truly are, then
Well, here yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
you end up with a pretty strong tower.
Yes, you do. Now I have a tendency to, like, jump in because I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
sorry."
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Um,
don't forget it. I have a tendency to forget it.
but I was just thinking when you said that, so you pulling out the pieces that no longer serve you, and in that way, you want it to collapse because you want the unalignment part of you to collapse so you can build it
Right.
again with all the pieces that actually do align. So in that
Mhm.
way that would be a
Exactly.
good way to play Jenga. You're pulling out the
That's right.
pieces that don't serve you anymore. So, okay, this has been a long one, so we probably need to wrap it up. But what else do you want people to know about what you do?
So there's one more thing that I've been working on the last several months, and that is my Align Life Circle, which is an SKOOL school community, SKOOL community that I am working on that will be a place where women seeking support in a supportive environment to learn and share and be in community because as one of my wise women friends said at some point, can't even know who to attribute this to, was like women learn in community, women grow in community. And so I do believe that a virtual community, you can also experience the same thing. So I am going to be working more on that. And you can apply to join now if you found it on school, but I'm not currently active in there. Like it'll be a few more weeks before
Yeah.
that's
Still being built.
going. It's being, yeah. So
Angie
before the
wants it.
metaphorical doors open,
Yes,
right? It's just
right.
like open for the summer. We're still doing maintenance in there.
Yeah.
You can sit
Because
in the
as
building.
you all heard throughout this episode is Angie wants she has high standards. So she's
Mhm.
not just gonna open it all willy-nilly and let people come in and have nothing to do.
Right. Pretty much.
So she's
I was
making it the way
a
she
school
wants.
assistant. Yes, I was an
Yeah.
assistant principal, and unstructured time is the worst. So,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
we need to
I
have a little
agree.
structure there, and that's what I'm working on now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But go check it out. We'll alert you through this when that is ready. But we'll have all the links in the show notes now, so you can go check out her website and all the things. So we're going to end it there, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. Your support means the world to us. If this episode resonated with you, we invite you to subscribe to the podcast, share with another mom, and explore the links in the show notes. Remember, you and all moms deserve support on your journey back to work.